Hello guys, today we've got a new book. This is Monsters and Villains of the Movies and Literature. There's a Hydra on the front. I got this book off Amazon, but you're probably already sick of me talking, so let's just get into it. This here is the index. We get into the introduction. The first monster is a werewolf. Very nice illustration. Cute, kind of a cute looking werewolf. I always imagine a werewolf being bigger than that, but that's just me. The creature from the Black Lagoon. By the way, guys, this video is being filmed on Halloween, if that makes it cooler. Here we have Imhotep, the classic moving mummy. Very dynamic pose. About right size comparison. Bride of Frankenstein. And here we have the Blob. Very nice illustrations. I always imagined the Blob being bigger than this, but again, you might have a different opinion. Then we have Nosferatu, the Dracula ripoff. That's the best way I can describe it. Still a very cool vampire though, right size. Yeah, that's about right. King Kong, one of the most classic monsters. That's the exact size I imagine King Kong to be. And here we have just Jaws, a big shark. I thought the shark was actually called Bruce, but again, I'm not too sure. And this is about the size a real great white shark is. Here we have the flying monkeys. This is an interesting picture of the flying monkeys. They look a lot more realistic than they do in most other pictures. And about the right size comparison again. And here we have Hannibal the Cannibal Lecter. Right, I'm out right scale. He was a monster. I wouldn't say he wasn't a monster. He was a villain. I'll give him villain. Jason, probably one of the most evil villains. Interesting. Here we have one of the most classic movie monsters, the zombies. Yeah, about right size. Hate it. But it says they're only in timer, but it says here they just didn't hate it. Well, that's confusing. Here we have a very friendly looking Frankenstein. About right size. Here we have Dracula, the classic vampire. Again, right size and right place. The Headless Horseman. Where's it, the pumpkin? Just no head. I kind of like the pumpkin version myself. But it says, got right size, Sleepy Hollow, yeah. Triffid. I've never seen a Triffid before. That's kind of interesting. Morlocks. Classic villain. Never read the book, but I still know who the character is. Right size. Then we have the Jabberwock. Again, I've never heard of this creature. I would like to. Apparently, it's a poem there about the Jabberwock. Anyway, it says here, Mr. Hyde. He was a villain, not a monster. I'll give him villain. Here we have an orc. Very soulful eyes. In my opinion, that's a bit small to be an orc, but your mileage may vary. Then we have Shelob, the Great Spider. That's about right size. That's kind of weird. He's not meant to have a proper mouth. He's a spider. He's meant to have fangs. Anyway, next we have Lord Sauron. It's got a lot of classic book villains in here. I guess it is the book chapter. Here we have a Ringwraith. Again, did you have the licenses to do this? Quasimodo. I don't think of Quasimodo as a villain. I think of Quasimodo as a hero. That's a bit offensive to poor Quasimodo. Phantom of the Opera, I think he's a villain. Moby Dick, I don't think he's a villain or a monster, just a big whale fighting for survival. Strange choices here. We have Caliban, definitely a monster, especially since he apparently rapes young girls. He's got his own island to himself, he must be a rich guy. We have Macbeth's witches. They have all their eyes and their teeth. I prefer to think of them as the Greek witches. Then we have a German Rumpelstiltskin, which is basically a leprechaun. Very interesting. Here we have a very kindly looking witch, not as horrific as witches are often depicted. She's being murdered. Okay, that's a bit dark, but okay. Here we have the evil queen. She's so happy, she enjoys being evil. It's part of who she is. Mordred. Got a lot of Lord of the Rings characters here. Medusa. A beauty shot by Medusa. Guys, she is now officially Medusa the Seducer. I don't remember Medusa living in Africa, but you might have a different opinion. Here we have the Hydra, and this is how I would imagine the Hydra. And like in game like God of War, the Hydra is like massive, but like I imagine it that big, not like a giant monster. But again, your mileage may vary. Cerberus, classic villain or monster. Right, skies, please. Yeah, everything's right. The Chimera. This thing looks really messed up. It's got the head of a lion, the body and third head of a goat, and the snake and the head and the tail is a head of a snake. Here we have a harpy, which is a nice illustration. A siren. I remember the siren as being more of a mermaid-like creature, but here it's sent to be more of a bird-like creature. But that's a weird depiction in my opinion. Here we have an Egyptian Sphinx. I always imagine the Sphinx as being during the Greek time and just copied by the Egyptians. But then, of course, you may have different opinions. Grendel. I think Grendel should be a little bit bigger than that. Here we have Fenrir. Nice illustration. That is nowhere big enough for Fenrir. Fenrir should be at least the size of a rhino, if not a lot bigger. Fafnir. Another creature from Norse mythology. Sleipnir. Odin's 8-legged horse. The Zizbird, which is apparently the size of the earth. Freaking hell, that's a big Zizbird. And this Zizbird is the last creature. So this has been Monsters and Villains of the Movies and Literature. In my opinion, a very good book, even though in my opinion Quasimodo and Moby Dick should not have been in the book since they are technically not villains. But anyway, there's nothing more I could say, so I'll leave it here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to check out my other videos and my friends. They are AGY Gamer and Will and Chassa Cheetah. And happy Halloween, as this is filmed on Halloween 2019. Bye-bye.